Legal provisions related to counting. Disclaimer: this training material is for use in training of election officials. It should not be referred as guideline of ECI. In case of any variance in this training material, the Commission guidelines, rules, laws shall prevail. Learning outcomes. At the end of the session, the participants will be able to explain the legal provisions in RP Act 1951 related to counting. Explain the legal provisions in Conduction of Election Rules in 1961. Explain the legal provisions in IPC related to counting. First we will see legal provisions in RP Act 1951 related to counting. Section 64 says counting of votes. Counting under supervision and direction of the returning officer. Contesting candidate or election agent or counting agents have a right to be present. Section 64A. Destruction, loss, etc. of ballot papers at the time of counting. Returning officer shall immediately report the matter to the Commission, who may direct the counting to be stopped. Commission may declare poll to be void, order repoll for that polling station, or if satisfied the result of election will not be materially affected, may allow counting to be completed. Section 65. Equality of votes. Result to be decided by the draw of lot by the RO. Section 66. Declaration of results. In the absence of any direction to the contrary from the Commission, returning officer to declare the result on completion of counting. Section 67. Report of the result. Returning officer to report result to the Commission and to appropriate authority, that is Secretary, State Legislature or the Parliament, who shall get it published in the official gazette immediately. Section 128. Maintenance of secrecy of voting. Every officer, clerk, agent or other person who performs any duty in connection with the recording or counting of votes at an election shall maintain. If violated, then imprisonment up to 3 months or fine or both. Section 129. Officers etc. at elections not to affect for candidates or to influence voting. It is applicable to DO, RO, ARO's polling staff. Imprisonment up to 6 months or fine or both. Section 136. Other offences and penalties thereof. Guilty of electoral offence, tampering with EVM, ballot box or ballot paper, nomination paper etc. fraudulently. Imprisonment up to 6 months or 2 years or fine or both. Now we will discuss legal provisions in Conduction of Election Rule 1961 related to counting. Rule 51. Time and place for counting. It is to be fixed by the returning officer at least 1 week prior to the date of poll. Notice to be given in writing to each candidate or his election agent. Rule 52. Appointment of counting agents. Subject to Commission directions, a candidate may appoint counting agents which shall not exceed 16 for each place of counting. Rule 53. Admission to the place of counting. Nobody else except returning officer, assistant returning officer, counting staff, candidates, their election agents, counting agents, public servant on duty and persons authorized by the Commission. Whosoever misconducts himself or fails to obey lawful directions of the RO shall be removed from the counting hall. Rule 54. Secrecy of voting. Returning officer to read out provisions of Section 128 allowed before commencement of counting. Rule 55C. scrutiny and inspection of EVM before counting. Rule 56C, actual counting. Rule 56D, scrutiny of paper trail. Rule 57C, sealing of voting machine. Rule 60, provision for continuous counting. Rule 61, provision for recommencement of counting after fresh poll. Rule 63, provision for recount of votes. Rule 64, provision for declaration of result of election. Rule 65, provision for counting at 2 or more places for one constituency. Rule 66, provision for grant of certificate of election to returned candidate. Legal provision related to counting in Indian Penal Code. Section 135A of IPC, it is about the booth capturing, and it says, booth capturing has an extended meaning so as to cover even the rigging of the counting process at the counting places and not merely the polling process at the polling station under the section 135A of IPC. In this education video, we have learned about legal provisions related to council. If you have any doubt or want any clarification, then you can contact through the mail as shown on the screen. For other videos on rules and regulations, you can visit the web address as shown. Thank you.